Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Pillsbury. We are pleased to come to you from the Natick Pegasus studio to announce a very special event that's coming to Natick Pegasus in the next couple of weeks. Joining me this evening is Eddie Kane from the very famous Eddie Kane Live Show. He's been a producer of his own show for a couple of years now from the studio, and he's working on a really interesting project, a fascinating project, something that I really didn't know anything about. And we're here to talk to Eddie and Dr. Mortimer about this particular project. And so bear with us. We're going to ask Eddie some questions about this and fill you in on just exactly what he's doing. Eddie, good evening.
How's it going, Jim?
It's going pretty cool. Tell us what this is all about at the Natick Pegasus studio coming up.
Well, as you all know, I've been doing the TV for a while, and me and the EKL team, that's me, Ted Finnerty, Nate Nemitz, we had a meeting, and we were discussing, you know, what are we going to do in the future? You know, we're going to do another season, that's inevitable, but, you know, I wanted to go for something that wasn't just for cheap laughs and something, and I thought I could do something that could help out a charity. Instantly, I thought of my sister Kimberly, who is 29 right now. She's had type 3 OI since birth.
And OI is?
Osteogenesis imperfecta,
okay,
which is a brittle bone disease, or nicknamed glass bone disease, because it causes bones to break. Others more than some. It depends on what symptom you have of OI, you know.
Okay. So you're stepping out of the comedy talk show thing to do a benefit for the organization,
yes,
which would benefit your sister.
Yes, I'm stepping out, but I still have my foot where I last was, because we're going to keep the comedy in, we're going to keep the music in, all that stuff's great, but we want to, you know, use what we've already got to better something else or someone else, you know.
Is this a first for Eddie Kane Live?
Yes, it is. This is the very first for Eddie Kane Live.
And the first for Natick Pegasus?
Yep.
Wow, so you're breaking ground here.
Well, doing what I can, you know.
So tell us, what does the telethon consist of? Well,
it's really, I was watching, I like old TV shows, I like old movies and stuff, so I have like box sets of Ed Sullivan's show. When I was watching it, I saw the variety show. You'd see the comedians come up, and then it'd be a band, and then a magician. But then I thought, you know, the TV's just not like that anymore, you know? It just is. I mean, the closest you get is like America's Got Talent, you know. But I thought, you know, I include what Ed Sullivan did. I put on a variety show and show talent and stuff, and show off our own show, Eddie Kane Live, sketch comedy and stuff, and get, you know, people to donate live.
So this is like a Jerry Lewis telethon, then?
It's a lot like a
like Jerry Lewis. People will be able to call in here to an 800 number?
There'll actually be operators standing by in Maryland, though, at the OI Foundation.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with there aren't operators here in the studio?
No.
It's all taken care of down in Maryland?
Yes.
Okay.
At the actual place.
Okay, and how much money do you hope to raise?
$1 billion, Jim.
$1 billion, okay.
I mean, it would be nice to raise $1,000 more. I'd be happy with a few $100s, but, you know, whatever happens, happens.
This is more about making people aware of what this disease is, correct?
Yes, because not too many people know about it. The foundation itself doesn't get as much charity than the leading benefits, like such as Jimmy Fund.
MS, Jerry Lewis has been doing this for many years.
Breast Cancer Society.
Right.
You know, so I think it's good that it'd be good that more people start putting on things like this.
Okay.
I know Christine Rossi, she does a walk every year in Framingham. Who's actually going to be on the telethon, actually?
Okay. Tell us who the acts are that you have, and how long is the telethon for?
Well, the telethon is actually going to be for 6 hours. We're going to start at 3 p.m. We're going to end at 9 p.m. We got a bunch of bands coming, including our headlining act, the Boston Ska Pressed. The Boston Ska Pressed, they're a reggae ska band. They've been on the show before, and they're good friends of mine. And they've been really working hard. They're putting on a really good act for us, which I'm excited about. We've got a magician. His name's Matt Roberts. He's local in Massachusetts. He's very great, very talented. We've got Alex the Jester, who does all sorts of unusual acts, juggling, whatnot. We got different singers, acoustic guitarists. We've got
I heard you had an Elvis impersonator.
We've got an Elvis impersonator
and a Cher.
and a Cher impersonator.
Okay, so you've covered all the bases here.
Yep.
This is going to be 6 hours of entertainment and talk.
Yep.
Throughout this.
Yep. There'll be interviews, pre-recorded and live.
Okay.
We've got a famous author, Dr. Shapiro, Frederick Shapiro, who's coming on, which will be great. Yeah, and my sister Kimberly will also make an appearance as well.
Excellent. Okay. So I think we've covered the bases here, and what I'd like to do is bring on Dr. Mortimer, board-certified member of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, and it would probably be a good idea for him to come on and talk about what OI is for our viewers. Come on in, doctor, and have a seat and explain. Help me understand.
How's it going? Good to be here, Eddie.
Help me understand or get the point out to our viewers what this is about. I'm 58 years old, and I've never heard of this until I met Eddie and knew about this telethon. And I've been in the medical community myself for a long, long time, so I must admit that I am surprised I didn't hear anything about it. OI, what is it? Where does it come from? Basically, tell our viewers what this is about.
Well, first I'd like to thank you very much for inviting me here. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here. I'm very happy to support a cause like osteogenesis imperfecta. I have a number of patients, probably between 30 and 50 patients who I see on a regular basis who have osteogenesis imperfecta.
Wow.
Now you asked me what is osteogenesis imperfecta and where does it come from? Well, osteogenesis imperfecta is a genetic condition which stems from an abnormality in the collagen molecule. Collagen is a very large molecule that forms the basis of many of the structures in our body, from bone, obviously, skin, all of the soft tissues. So collagen is really one of the most critical molecules that our body has. In osteogenesis imperfecta, there's an abnormality in the structure of collagen, and this leads to a weakness or fragility of the skeleton, of the bones. Osteogenesis imperfecta comes in a variety of severities. In its mildest form, an individual might have a larger number of fractures than average. So we have some kids who break a bone every 6 months or so. Wow. So they've got a hotline to the UMass Department of Orthopedics, and they know exactly how to reach me when their child sustains an injury.
And that equates to surgery? Every time they break a bone, it requires surgery?
No, in fact, fortunately, we can treat the majority of fractures without surgery at all.
Oh, okay.
Usually, children are treated in casts, the same way any other individual would be treated.
So as children grow, do they naturally, is this a natural phenomenon as they're growing?
Well, you know, osteogenesis imperfecta is really not one condition, because if you compare a child who's got severe osteogenesis imperfecta, you'll see that they've got some pretty significant limitations. They are very vulnerable, and just spinning around on their legs might cause a fracture.
Wow.
At the other end of the spectrum, you'll have a child who looks completely normal, normal activity, normal height,
like
normal,
type 1.
Like type 1, exactly. So that individual might, be a little bit more vulnerable to a fracture if they fall down playing football or something like that.